Hey everybody, Dean Gornitis here again, and I want to take you on a magical adventure through the land of books. Today's continent we're going to visit: psychopaths, murderers, and death sentences. The Stranger by Albert Camus. By the way, that might not be how you're supposed to pronounce the author's name. I'm also going to have a lot of trouble pronouncing the main character's name. So here's my guess. Mircelo. Mircelo. It's French and I took Spanish in high school. Without giving away the plot, the book focuses on first-person narration through the eyes of Mircelo and divided into two parts. Part 1, everything that leads up to the murder. Part 2, everything that happens after the murder. It's written in a very sparse writing style, and my dog won't shut up. Very, very similar to the ways of Ernest Hemingway and Fitzgerald. Dear God, it's hot. I love the Buffalo Bills. And the book, in this manner, takes on all the philosophical isms you can think of. Existentialism, absurdism, naturalism, Saturday sit-downism. Any ism you can think of, people have tried to tack onto this book. But to me, what I see is the humanizing of the modern psychopath. I mean, think about the emotions, the thoughts that rush into your head when you hear the term psychopath. In the 1980s even, the top execs in the medical world changed the term to, I believe, antisocial behavioral problem, something along those lines, because of the negative connotations that came with psychopath. But here, Camus is able to gradually massage the psychopath elements of Mircelo so slowly into the narrative that when I read it, I was almost halfway into the book before suddenly it clicked into my head. I get it now. Basically, Mircelo is missing the ability to connect on an emotional level with anything around him. And this is what does him in. He can't fully express his feelings because he doesn't really have that many feelings. What Camus is able to do here is show us that as easy as it is for us to label somebody as a psychopath and chuck them into jail, nothing is ever black and white. There's always a gray area. I also love Camus's discussion about free will and the human's ability to adapt to any circumstances given enough time. And Mircelo talks about this a couple times in the novel. Mircelo goes from being a free man to being locked into solitary confinement. Think about what that would do to the human soul. Think about what that would take for you mentally to be able to survive. Camus gives us a first-person narration of the entire process, step by step. And what he shows us is that you can take away anything from a human, and he's not going to argue with you that it might not be some of the most painful experiences ever, but he will argue with you that the human spirit can adapt, and in fact will always adapt, given enough time. That's it this week. Saturday Sit Down, case closed. I'd like to give a little shout out to Beat Girl over on Twitter. She's really cool. She's got a lot of classic novel knowledge, so if you're interested in a little more background information on anything that I talk about, mention it to her. She knows more about it than I do. Okay? Okay, cool. See you next week. And through the narration of the first person...